Right, greetings everyone. I just want to touch on something quite quickly. Today I want to speak about judging, right? I want to speak about judging, specifically judging within the body of Messiah and judging by the body of Messiah. I think it's important that I bring some scriptures to remembrance to people, because I know that when I say things like the things that I said in my previous video, a lot of people will think I'm being too judgmental. In person and even online, I've had many people tell me that believers shouldn't judge at all, right? And yeah, they even refer to scripture, but incorrectly when they say things like that. So, what I want to do is I want to read from the scriptures to show that the Almighty actually wants us to judge, but He wants us to judge righteously. So, judgment is required, but it has to be righteous and not unrighteous. So, let me read from John chapter 7, verse 24. It says, "Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment." One more time. "Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment." Right? Proverbs 31, 8 to 9. "Open your mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy." Ephesians 5, verse 11. "And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." Right? Leviticus 19, verse 15. And take note, I'm reading from both the Old Testament and the New Testament, so that people can actually see that righteous judgment is something the Almighty has always wanted us to do. All right, so Leviticus 19, chapter 15. "Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. You shall not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shall you judge your neighbor." Right? That's Leviticus 19, chapter 15. Now I'm going to 1 Corinthians 5, verse 9 to 13. And by the way, I'm just reading a few. There's actually a lot of passages to do with this. All right, so 1 Corinthians 5, 9 to 13. "I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators, yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world. But now I have written unto you, not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator," and a brother is a believer in the context of this passage, right? "But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner. With such an one know not to eat. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do you not judge them that are within? But them that are without allure judges. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person." And this one goes into, it flows into chapter 6 as well of 1 Corinthians, or 1 Corinthians. So I'm going so from chapter 6, 1 to 8. "Dare any of you having a matter against another," and remember this being addressed to believers. So let me start again. "Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?" Let me just stop there. The unjust being unbelievers and the saints being believers. Right? So, "Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints? Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? If then you have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren. But brother goes to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because you go to law one with another. Why do you not rather take wrong? Why do you not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Nay, you do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren." Just to digress a bit, I can certainly relate with that last passage I read. In recent times, I myself, me and a brother of mine, we even appeared before a prosecutor, um, having been taken there by someone who professes to believe, by people who profess to believe, for matters which could have been judged righteously using scripture. Because really, that's what judging righteously is. Judging righteously is judging according to the standard of the scriptures, and not the standard of our own minds, right? Our own opinions, so to speak. So that's a few passages that I will read to those who believe that believers don't need to judge. Actually, we need to judge, and we need to judge righteously. In Zimbabwe, not just the nation in general, but within the body of Messiah, a lot of the problems are because people are indifferent or hesitant to judge righteously. So because of that, evil is running amok. So the Almighty says, believers in Zimbabwe, we need to take judgment seriously. We need to take righteous judgment seriously. No respecting of persons. There's a lot of respecting of persons in Zimbabwe. Respecting of people just because they have titles or whatever. I read from the scriptures there, you can see that righteous judgment is required by the Almighty. So, I will end here with this. Be blessed.